What's the scariest thing you've ever heard someone in authority try to hide from others? I was a young intern at a major pharmaceutical company. Fresh out of college, wide-eyed, eager to prove myself. I had landed the opportunity of a lifetime, working under Dr. Reynolds, a legend in the industry. People spoke his name with reverence. Brilliant, innovative, unshakably confident. Everyone wanted to be on his team, and I was lucky enough to be placed there right out of the gate. My assignment was to assist with data analysis for a new pain medication in its final clinical trial phase. Intern-level work, but still exciting. The preliminary reports looked great. High efficacy, low side effects. The energy around the drug was electric. Everyone talked like it was going to be the next blockbuster. But when I started digging into the actual data, something felt off. I noticed irregularities in the cardiac reports. Just small anomalies at first. Slightly elevated heart rates, mild irregularities. But the more I reviewed, the more concerning it became. A handful of patients had serious arrhythmias, not isolated incidents, a pattern. I triple-checked everything before bringing it to Dr. Reynolds. He flipped through my notes, then gave me a thin smile. Just statistical noise, he said, waving it off. Focus on efficacy. That's where the story is. He didn't even look worried, but I couldn't shake it. That night, I stayed late, long after everyone else had gone home. I pulled raw data directly from the server and analyzed every cardiac event report line by line. What I found made my stomach drop. Roughly 4% of patients were experiencing significant cardiac events. Not benign palpitations, serious, potentially life-threatening arrhythmias. This wasn't noise. This was a signal screaming through the data. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I compiled everything. Spreadsheets, flagged reports, annotated graphs. I walked into Dr. Reynolds' office and laid it all out in front of him. He didn't look surprised. He didn't look concerned. He looked cold. "We're aware of the issue," he said flatly. I froze. "You're aware?" He nodded slowly. "This company has invested over $300 million into this drug. The board expects FDA approval next quarter. We're past the point of turning back." I stared at him. "But people could die." He leaned forward, voice low and measured. "We'll include a warning in the documentation. Elevated cardiac risk. Nothing unusual. These things always carry some risk. The benefits outweigh it." Then he locked eyes with me. "And this stays between us." My heart was pounding. I walked out of his office in a daze. That night I backed up every file I could get my hands on. Trial logs, internal communications, data reports, emails between Reynolds and upper management. Some of them explicitly discussed the cardiac risks and how to mitigate exposure by burying the warnings in the fine print. The next morning, I got on a train and took everything straight to the FDA's regional office. 6 months later, the drug was pulled. Quietly, but permanently. It never made it to shelves. Dr. Reynolds was arrested and indicted on charges of data suppression, fraud, and reckless endangerment. Internal emails proved he'd been hiding the problem for months, even pressuring analysts to ignore the data. He called me once after the news broke. From his lawyer's office. "You've ruined everything," he said. "You think you're a hero? You'll never work in this industry again. Your career is over." Maybe it was. For a while, it sure felt like it. No callbacks. No interviews. My name was unofficially blacklisted. Word gets around fast when you blow the whistle on someone that powerful. But I found other work. I moved, I rebuilt, and I'll never forget that call. Not because he was angry, but because he was afraid. That someone like me, with no power, no clout, no title, had taken him down. Maybe my career took a hit, but I still sleep just fine.